Is Mark Carney truly an outsider, as he says he is? Before we get the answer for that, please donate. Keep us on the air. Andrew Perez is a strategist, a liberal strategist. He's really smart in politics and all kinds of public policy things. He joins me right now. I put the question to you. Carney is saying he's an outsider. Then other people come along and say, oh, wait a second. He's been the advisor to Trudeau for years and years. He has said this Liberal government has been pitch perfect. I agree with everything they've done for years and years. He's been on with the carbon tax. He has been, in my review, the ultimate insider. He's not been elected.
So is he
an insider?
Is he an outsider? I mean, he's a member of the Canadian elite, a central bank governor of 2 G7 countries. He worked at the finance department under the Paul Martin government. He is, though, an outsider to this government. He's never been a member of this government, and while he's provided...
He was the advisor to the Prime Minister through the party, so he didn't have to go through the vetting.
For a matter of months, we're not sure what advice was actually provided.
That's true.
And he has been critical of the capital gains changes. He's been critical of the consumer carbon tax. He said that we need to focus on growth, and we can't redistribute income and money that we don't have.
That's true. So you're saying he's an outsider, but he still knows his stuff?
At the end of the day,
Andrew, I want you to label him for me.
He is an outsider to this Trudeau Liberal government, and that's what makes him attractive to Liberals like me, who had grown disenfranchised from the Trudeau government, that felt that this government wasn't a traditional Liberal government.
What about the fact that he's never run for anything?
And I think that's Mr. Carney's chief challenge. He's auditioning for the top job. He's never been an elected official. But these are unprecedented times. We're in uncharted territory right now.
Yes, we are.
And I think unprecedented times call for unprecedented action.
Now, elected MPs say you don't know what it's like until you've been through the crucible of an election, until you've been in the House, until you have faced the devil and beat it down. And there's all kinds of historical examples of that, Churchill, everybody else. He hasn't done that. What if he cracks?
There's always that potential, but in politics, you need to look at your chief adversary. In this case, it's a lifelong politician who's never had a private sector job for a day in his life. I like the contrast between Mr. Carney and Mr. Poilievre at a time when we're facing... Has Carney had private sector? You just told me he was Minister of Finance. He was the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Great Britain. That's not private sector at all. He worked on Wall Street in New York.
Not too damn long, and that was just in between there when he's dealing with his carbon tax stuff, and all the banks have left him. They said, you were wrong, Carney.
He's been involved with Brookfield Asset Management. I mean, he understands the private sector. He understands markets.
From the very top. He's been chairman of it. No, doing down all
He's an economist by trade. I like that contrast between Carney and Poilievre, a lifelong politician, never created a job or worked in the private sector for a day in his life.
But he has stood up to the devils. Anyway, we're out of time, and we will discuss this again, and thank you very much, Andrew. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.